What's up, guys? My name is Josh, and welcome to an episode of Let's Talk. And in this episode of let's talk about the Packers. Yesterday was a playoff game between the Bears and the Packers. And as you can see, I have a calm demeanor. I couldn't say that a couple hours ago, and I surely couldn't say that last night. And to be honest, I lost a lot of sleep from this game. So let's go ahead and get into the stats before I talk to you about my feelings. So starting off with the Packers, Jordan Love was 24 of 46 attempts and passes, 323 yards, 4 touchdowns, a QBR of 80.4, and a rating of 103.8. Very impressive. Top rushing back, Josh Jacobs with 19 carries, 55 yards, 0 tubs. Total rushing yards for the Packers, 99. Top receiver for the Packers, Romeo Dobbs with 8 receptions, 124 yards, and 1 tub. Honorable mention Packers are Matthew Golden with his first tub. Congratulations and welcome to Green Bay. He had 4 receptions for 84 yards, and Jalen Reed 4 receptions for 43 yards and a tub. And then my boy Christian Watson with 3 receptions, 36 yards, and 1 tub. Total receiving office 323. Now, let's go to the Bears now. Caleb Williams with 24 of 48 attempts, 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 37, and a rating of 71.6. So, stat-wise, kind of similar to Jordan Love, other than the fact that QBR is 37 and he had 2 interceptions, which I believe the interceptions knocked his QBR. Otherwise, he and Love would probably most likely be the same since their attempts and throws yardage was the same. Top running back of the Bears, DeAndre Swift with 13 carries, 54 yards, and a tub. The total rushing for Chicago was 93 yards, so very similar to the Packers. Colston Loveland for the receiving, 8 receptions, 137 yards. I really felt like the Packers could not cover Loveland, not even in the regular season, which is very disturbing because where was that in the plan? But let's not get into that. DJ Moore and Zacchaeus were the only ones to score a touchdown in receiving. DJ Moore, 6 receptions, 64 yards, and Zacchaeus with 1 reception for 8 yards. So let's go ahead and talk about the game. The first half was going very smoothly for the Packers. Bears were going on it on 4th and down. I felt like they were repeating the Dan Campbell mistake by going in on it with 4th instead of punting the ball or getting the points. And so because of that, they turned it over with an interception and I want to say a turnover on downs. But anywho, the Packers put up 21 points. It would have been 24 before the half ended, but they iced McManus for the field goal and he missed it. Now, going to the second half, the Packers were to receive the ball, but it was a quick 3 and out. Looking at the combined rushing yards between both teams, I felt like both defenses kept the rushing in check. So it really boiled down to the arms of both Jordan Love and Caleb Williams. And the Packers offense just could not get in. Like they flared up in the first half and then they fizzled out in the second half. And it was very disappointing because this seemed like this game was checkmate. I know some of my friends who are Packer fans thought, hey, this game is over by the first half because it was 21-3. In fact, we kept the Bears locked all 3 quarters at 9 points. Now, let's go ahead and talk about, who's to blame. Now, I've been reading a lot of posts on social media about, oh, it's McManus and Matt LaFleur. Okay, yes, McManus deserves some of the blame because he left 7 points on the board. Those 7 points that could have won us the game. But when you really think about this, is the kicker supposed to save us in the game, or is it supposed to fall in the arms of our QB? Personally, I feel the kicker is plan B when it comes to winning the game, but it falls on the quarterback to win us the game. And personally, I felt that even though Jordan Love's stats were impressive, and he'll go down in history with some of the greats as Josh Allen, who put up 4 touchdowns but lost in the playoff game. Let that sink in. You're going to be known for putting up 4 touchdowns and 300 yards in a playoff game only to lose. And this is what I say, if you're listening. All those stats don't mean anything until the game ends and the victor is decided. All those stats don't mean squat if the last drive you lay a dud. So let's go ahead and talk about Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is so predictable in his play calling. His names are end around and jet sweeps because that's all he really calls. He calls rushing plays more than allowing Jordan Love to be Jordan Love. Now, Jordan Love has several comparisons. They say a little bit of Brett Favre and then a little bit of Aaron Rodgers. Now, I can see the similarities because with Brett Favre, he was a gunslinger and he threw picks. And then Aaron Rodgers, he was the most accurate with the football. And when the ball was in his hand, it was like gold and he was able to launch those balls. And receivers made plays and like it was just something of magic. But I'm at the point where Jordan Love is his own person because unlike Brett Favre, even though he threw all those interceptions, Brett Favre proven that he can take a team on his back, drive down the field, and win games. Brett Favre was hardcore. Brett Favre could win games. Aaron Rodgers, like I said, that man was magical. Like, you knew that man was going to drive down the field. I remember in San Francisco where San Francisco left us 38 seconds left in the clock. I'm like, man, this game's over with. But my friend said, Josh, are you really counting out Aaron Rodgers with 38 seconds? And I'm like, okay, let's see. And Aaron Rodgers proved it. Now, granted, he didn't score the touchdown, but he got the Packers in field goal range and able to kick the game-winning field goal. And that was with Mason Crosby, the dog of Green Bay when it comes to kickers. So right now, fans are blaming Matt LaFleur and Brian McManus, but I put the blame on not only McManus and Matt LaFleur, but also on Jordan Love because Jordan Love has made several critical issues in that game that cost the Packers drives. One being when it was 4th and 2, he had an open field to where he could just run and easily pick up the first down, but instead he threw an intentional grounding. In fact, he threw 2 intentional groundings in that game, and honestly, I don't know which quarterback ever did that in a post game, let alone in the regular season, in the same game. And then also, Jordan Love has also been throwing some inaccurate balls. One of them was during the last drive where it was, I believe, 4th and 10, and Romeo Doubs had to reach out for that ball. People spoke more about Jordan Love making that throw than Romeo Doubs making a play for that ball because honestly, it was a one-handed catch, beautiful, that should have not been caught to begin with. So that catch was more about Romeo Doubs than Jordan Love. And then Jordan Love just made several bad decisions. He never scrambled when he's supposed to scramble. He got sacked. That cost us, a drive. And then, of course, the penalties. I'll bring up the penalties. Green Bay had 7 penalties for 65 yards, and then the Bears had 2 of 5. So the Bears, despite all the fumbles that were going on between both of them, play a better football than the Packers. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about that game. Was it more about Matt LaFleur and McManus, or are you like me where I like to put the blame on all sides of the ball? Because honestly, I believe the defense kept us in this game. The offense could not keep us in the game. So what are my thoughts about in the offseason? Personally, I would like to see Ed Policy clean house. I feel that Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst has proven that they don't have what it takes to win games and bring championships back to Green Bay. You will have several YouTubers like Tom Grossi or Cheesehead TV Aaron Nagler who will simp for Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur. Maybe be a little critical on Matt LaFleur, but they would definitely protect Jordan Love. And my thing is, Packers fans, you really need to evaluate everyone and not just put sole blame on everyone. Just as like Baltimore, you cannot put the sole blame on the kicker for missing that kick. It is really a team sport, and you really can't put the blame on one single person unless everyone has done their part and it all falls down to one person. So let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are about the game. If you are new to my channel, please subscribe, hit that like button if you like my video, and please keep the comments clean, keep the comments nice, because we are a football community that get to talk about football, share about football, be with each other through our through our pains, our sufferings, and our joys. So congratulations, Bears, you definitely earned it. Packers fans, shut up, let the Bears have this one. They own us this year. It's time to look forward to next season and see what happens. Again, I would like to see Ed Policy to move on from Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. Romeo Doubs and Wicks might not return. I would like to see both of them back in Green Bay because I like to keep this wide receiver core together. I don't think getting a veteran wide receiver is smart with so much talent that we had in the wide receiver room. And I feel that it's an opportunity for these wide receivers to continue to develop and get better. And then, two, honestly, Jordan Love, I don't think you deserve any nice toys. In fact, I believe we need to look at your contract and restructure it because you are not living up that $50 million a year contract. So that's my thoughts. Restructure Jordan Love's contract. Try to resign Romeo Doubs back. I think Wicks is available. Wicks is up for a contract. I think Reed is up for a contract as well. Rasheed Walker and I think we need to let him go. And then Sean Ryan, I think we need to let you go as well. Micah Parsons, I really hope that he gets well. I would love for him to play another season with the Packers. But at this time, I really feel like I don't want to waste Micah Parsons' talents because I'm just talking about stripping everything down and starting from new, just ripping the carpet out of the room and putting down something new because we as a fan base have been hungry for another Super Bowl since 2011. And I really feel like Aaron Rodgers' time was wasted in Green Bay. Brian Gutekunst didn't go all out until this season and last season, and I really feel like he needs to pay the penalty for making us wait all this time to deliver no Super Bowl and for an ugly exit out of the playoffs. So thank you again for watching. Please hit that subscribe button and like that button. Please share this video. Until next time, this is Josh signing out.